The weight of her past pressed heavily on her chest as Mariana O'Connor stared out the window of her opulent mansion. The bustling city of Dublin sprawled beneath her, a constant reminder of her success and the emptiness that accompanied it. For years, she had built her empire on ambition and ruthless decisions, each step further isolating her from the world she once knew. But behind the polished facade and extravagant lifestyle lay a secret that gnawed at her soul, a secret that had shattered countless lives, including her own. Mariana's heart ached with a loneliness that no amount of wealth could fill. She longed for redemption, a way to atone for the devastating financial scandal that had propelled her to the top while leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. Desperation led her to an impulsive decision, one that would set her on a path she could never have anticipated. Siobhan Murphy, a young woman with fiery red hair and piercing blue eyes, had known nothing but hardship and struggle. Living on the streets of Dublin, she fought every day to survive, clinging to a hope that seemed to dwindle with each passing moment. When Mariana approached her with an unexpected offer, Siobhan saw a glimmer of opportunity amidst the darkness. Little did she know, their fates were intertwined in ways neither could have imagined. As the two women's lives collided, they embarked on a journey of profound transformation. Mariana, haunted by guilt, sought to heal the wounds she had inflicted, while Siobhan, driven by resilience, began to uncover truths that would challenge her very existence. Together, they would navigate a world of social judgments, personal obstacles, and buried secrets, each step bringing them closer to an inevitable revelation that would test the limits of forgiveness and the power of compassion. In the heart of Dublin, amidst the iconic landmarks and vibrant culture, the contract of destiny unfolds, a tale of redemption, healing, and the indomitable human spirit. As Mariana and Siobhan confront their pasts and strive to create a future filled with hope, they discover that sometimes the path to salvation lies in the most unexpected places. The morning sun filtered through the heavy silk curtains of the master suite in Mariana O'Connor's mansion, a lush property on the outskirts of Dublin. Mariana, a tall and slender woman in her early 40s with perfectly styled dark brown hair, awoke to the gentle chime of her alarm clock. She rose slowly, feeling the coolness of the marble floor beneath her bare feet, and walked to the expansive closet where her outfits were meticulously organized. She selected an elegant, fitted dress, looked at herself in the mirror, and for a brief moment saw reflected not just her angular face and determined green eyes, but also the sadness that persistently lingered. Her morning routine was an exercise in precision: skincare, makeup, hair, all done with the care of someone who had mastered the art of appearances. Yet, despite the perfection she presented to the world, there was an emptiness she couldn't shake. Mariana moved downstairs to the grand dining room, where a lavish breakfast awaited her. She ate alone, the silence of the vast room amplifying her solitude. The mansion, with its exquisite art and luxurious furnishings, was a testament to her success, but it also felt like a gilded cage. Her mind wandered to the choices she had made, the relentless ambition that had brought her wealth but also left her isolated. Later that day, Mariana attended a business meeting in the heart of Dublin. Seated at a large, polished table surrounded by colleagues and clients, she found herself distracted by thoughts of her past. She had built an empire, but at what cost? The memory of the financial scandal that had propelled her to the top but ruined so many lives weighed heavily on her. The guilt was a constant companion, gnawing at the edges of her mind. After the meeting, instead of heading back to her office, Mariana decided to walk through the city. She wandered aimlessly through the bustling streets, the noise and activity a stark contrast to the quiet opulence of her home. As she passed through Temple Bar, with its lively atmosphere and cobblestone streets, she spotted a young woman sitting on the sidewalk, her appearance disheveled but her eyes strikingly bright. Mariana's steps slowed as she approached the young woman, Siobhan, who looked up warily. Siobhan's life on the streets had taught her to be cautious, but there was a resilience in her that caught Mariana's attention. Mariana knelt down, her designer dress brushing the dirty pavement, and spoke to Siobhan. She offered her help, not just money, but a chance to change her life. Siobhan, though skeptical and tired, listened. The desperation in her own life pushed her to consider the offer seriously. She had seen many things on the streets, but never a proposition like this. After a moment of hesitation, she agreed to Mariana's terms, seeing in it a rare opportunity to escape her dire circumstances. Mariana brought Siobhan to her mansion. As they drove through the gates, Siobhan's eyes widened at the sight of the grand estate. The opulence was overwhelming, and she felt out of place amid the luxury. Mariana showed her to a guest room, spacious and elegantly furnished. Siobhan, still cautious, took in her surroundings, feeling both awe and discomfort. Mariana attempted to make her feel at ease, explaining that she wanted to help her integrate into a new life. Siobhan nodded, her mind racing with possibilities and doubts. She had been given a chance, but the transition was daunting. Despite her apprehension, she began to adjust to the new environment, though she remained guarded. That evening, during dinner, Mariana and Siobhan began to talk. Mariana was genuinely interested in learning about Siobhan's experiences. Siobhan, still wary but sensing Mariana's sincerity, shared some details about her life on the streets and the hardships she had faced. The conversation flowed, revealing glimpses of their respective worlds. Mariana found herself moved by Siobhan's resilience and wisdom, qualities she hadn't expected to find. Siobhan, in turn, saw a different side of Mariana, a woman who, despite her wealth, carried her own burdens. This initial connection started to build a bridge of understanding between them, though there were still barriers of mistrust. Later that night, Mariana sat alone in her bedroom, reflecting on the day's events. She glanced at an old photograph on her bedside table, a reminder of a past love and a different time in her life. Bringing Siobhan into her home was a bold move, driven by her own need for redemption and connection. As she thought about the impact Siobhan was already having on her life, she questioned her motives but also felt a sense of purpose she hadn't felt in years. Determined to make this arrangement work, both for Siobhan's sake and her own, Mariana resolved to be patient and supportive. She knew that trust would take time to build, but she was willing to put in the effort. The next day, Mariana took Siobhan shopping and then introduced her to some friends at a chic cafe. Siobhan, dressed in new clothes but feeling acutely aware of her past, struggled to fit in. The judgmental glances and subtle remarks from Mariana's friends made her feel humiliated and out of place. Mariana, noticing Siobhan's discomfort, realized she had underestimated the challenges of integrating Siobhan into her social circle. The experience was a harsh reminder of the social barriers that still existed, despite her good intentions. Back at the mansion, Siobhan confronted Mariana about the humiliating experience. She expressed her frustration and hurt, questioning whether she could truly fit into this new world. Mariana, taken aback, listened patiently and sincerely apologized. She acknowledged her mistake and assured Siobhan that she didn't need to change who she was to be accepted. This confrontation, though uncomfortable, was necessary for building trust. It allowed them to address their expectations and boundaries, creating a foundation for a more honest relationship. Mariana and Siobhan began to plan how Siobhan could better integrate into her new life. They discussed possible classes and activities that could help Siobhan gain confidence and feel more comfortable in her new surroundings. Mariana suggested etiquette lessons and courses in areas that interested Siobhan, aiming to provide her with skills and opportunities for growth. Siobhan, though still cautious, appreciated Mariana's efforts and began to see the potential for a better future. They set goals and clear expectations, working together to create a plan that respected Siobhan's individuality and needs. The chapter ended with Siobhan standing by the window of her new room, gazing out at the city of Dublin. She contemplated the uncertain future and the possibilities it held. Meanwhile, in her own room, Mariana revisited her memories, pondering the impact Siobhan was already having on her life. Both women were at the beginning of a transformative journey, filled with uncertainties and hopes. The stage was set for their relationship to deepen and for the challenges ahead, including the inevitable revelation of Mariana's past and the testing of their new dynamic. The morning sun shone brightly through the tall windows of the guest room where Siobhan now lived. She awoke early, still adjusting to the luxury around her. The bed was the softest she had ever slept in, a stark contrast to the cold, hard streets of Dublin she had called home for so long. As she stretched, Siobhan felt a mix of anticipation and nervousness about the day ahead. Mariana had arranged for Siobhan to begin etiquette and confidence-building classes. These were held in a small, elegantly decorated room in the mansion. The instructor, Ms. Greaves, was a stern but kind woman who patiently guided Siobhan through the basics of etiquette, from proper posture to how to engage in polite conversation. Although the lessons were challenging, Siobhan found herself slowly gaining confidence. After a few weeks of lessons, Mariana decided it was time for Siobhan to explore more of Dublin. They ventured out together, visiting iconic locations such as Temple Bar and Trinity College. The vibrant atmosphere of Temple Bar, with its lively pubs and music, was a stark contrast to the serene and academic environment of Trinity College. Walking through the cobblestone streets, Mariana shared stories of her own past and how she had built her empire. Siobhan, in turn, opened up more about her life before the streets and the struggles she had faced. These shared experiences brought them closer, bridging the gap between their vastly different worlds. One afternoon, Mariana decided to introduce Siobhan to some of her friends. They met at a charming cafe, known for its cozy ambience and delicious pastries. Mariana's friends, initially skeptical, soon found themselves charmed by Siobhan's sincerity and resilience. They admired her for overcoming such adversity and were eager to support her new journey. Siobhan, though still feeling somewhat out of place, began to form connections. The warmth and acceptance she received helped her feel more at home in this new world. These budding friendships played a crucial role in boosting her confidence and sense of belonging. One evening, as they sat by the fireplace, Siobhan felt compelled to share more about her past. She spoke of her parents, their love for each other, and the life they had before everything fell apart. The pain in her voice was palpable as she recounted the events that led to their downfall and her subsequent life on the streets. Mariana listened intently, her heart heavy with guilt. She knew that her own actions had played a part in the suffering Siobhan and her family had endured. The weight of this knowledge made her resolve to make amends even stronger, though she couldn't yet bring herself to reveal the full truth. Scene 5. Signs of conflict. As they spent more time together, the topic of the financial world occasionally surfaced. Mariana became noticeably tense whenever discussions veered too close to the scandal from her past. Siobhan, perceptive as ever, began to notice these changes in demeanor. She sensed that Mariana was hiding something significant, though she couldn't quite put her finger on it. This underlying tension created a subtle but growing rift between them. Siobhan's curiosity and Mariana's fear of discovery set the stage for future conflicts, adding a layer of complexity to their relationship. Their uneasy peace was disrupted during a social event at the mansion. Mariana had invited several influential people, hoping to garner support for her latest project. Among the guests was an old acquaintance who knew about her involvement in the scandal. During a conversation, he made a veiled comment about her past, which did not go unnoticed by Siobhan. The tension in the room was palpable as Mariana struggled to maintain her composure. Siobhan, piecing together the clues, began to suspect that Mariana's past was more deeply entwined with her own than she had realized. That night, Mariana was tormented by the decision of whether to reveal the truth to Siobhan. She paced her room, wrestling with her guilt and fear of losing the connection they had built. The stakes were high. Siobhan had come to trust her, and the revelation of her role in the scandal could destroy that trust forever. Mariana finally resolved to delay the confession, hoping to find a way to ease into the truth. This decision, while offering temporary relief, only served to deepen the growing tension between her and Siobhan. Scene 8. Building trust. In an effort to alleviate the tension, Mariana suggested that they work on a project together, helping at a local shelter. She hoped that this shared effort would help rebuild the trust that had begun to erode. Siobhan, though still wary, agreed to the idea. Working side by side, they experienced moments of genuine connection and mutual respect. The gratitude of the people they helped brought a sense of purpose and fulfillment to both women. For Siobhan, it was a chance to give back and find meaning beyond her past struggles. Scene 1. Accidental Discovery. Siobhan had begun to feel more at home in the mansion, her confidence growing with each passing day. One afternoon, while exploring the expansive house, she wandered into Mariana's private office. The room was filled with bookshelves, framed accolades, and neatly organized files. Curiosity got the better of her as she browsed through the papers on Mariana's desk. Her fingers paused over a folder marked with a familiar name, Murphy. Her heart raced as she opened it, revealing documents detailing the financial scandal that had destroyed her family. Shock and disbelief washed over her. The realization that Mariana, the woman she had begun to trust, was responsible for her family's downfall was almost too much to bear. Siobhan stormed out of the office, her mind a whirlwind of emotions. She found Mariana in the living room, engrossed in a book. Without hesitation, she thrust the folder in front of Mariana, demanding an explanation. The color drained from Mariana's face as she recognized the documents. Tears of anger and betrayal filled Siobhan's eyes as she demanded the truth. Mariana, feeling cornered and guilty, confessed everything. She explained her role in the scandal, the choices driven by ambition, and the deep remorse she felt every day since. Despite her attempts to justify her past actions, Siobhan could only see the woman who had caused her family so much pain. Overwhelmed by the betrayal, Siobhan couldn't stay in the mansion any longer. She packed her belongings hastily and left, ignoring Mariana's pleas for forgiveness. The pain of the past mingled with the fresh wound of betrayal, making it impossible for her to think clearly. As she walked the streets of Dublin, the city seemed different, colder. The safety and comfort she had started to feel in Mariana's home were replaced by the harsh reality of her situation. She sought refuge in a small hostel, where she could gather her thoughts away from the mansion and the memories it now held. Mariana was left alone in the grand mansion, the silence more oppressive than ever. She replayed the confrontation in her mind, her heart heavy with regret. The house, once a symbol of her success, now felt like a prison. Determined to make amends, she resolved to find Siobhan and beg for her forgiveness. The next morning, Mariana set out into the city, searching the places where Siobhan might have gone. She visited shelters and hostels, speaking with staff and residents, desperate for any information. The search was grueling, but she was driven by the need to right her wrongs. After days of searching, Mariana found Siobhan in a small shelter on the outskirts of the city. The atmosphere was tense as Mariana approached her, pleading for a chance to explain further. Siobhan listened, her expression guarded and wary. Mariana shared more about her past, detailing the pressures and mistakes that led to the scandal. She spoke of her guilt and the emptiness that had driven her to reach out to Siobhan in the first place. Though Siobhan's anger was still palpable, she agreed to hear Mariana out, if only to understand the full extent of her story. Mariana suggested they visit a place significant to her past, hoping it would help Siobhan see her sincerity. They traveled to a small coastal village where Mariana had spent her childhood summers. As they walked along the rugged cliffs and sandy beaches, Mariana opened up about her life before the scandal. She spoke of her dreams, the pressures of success, and the fateful decisions that led to her downfall. Siobhan listened, still hurt, but beginning to see the complexity of Mariana's situation. The beauty and tranquility of the village provided a stark contrast to the turmoil in their hearts, offering a brief respite and a chance for reflection. Returning to Dublin, Mariana and Siobhan decided to channel their emotions into something positive. They resumed their work at the shelter, this time with renewed vigor and purpose. The act of helping others became a way for them to rebuild their trust and mend their fractured relationship. Through daily interactions with the homeless and needy, they found common ground. The shared goal of making a difference helped to heal some of the wounds, and they began to see each other not just through the lens of past mistakes, but as partners in a new and meaningful endeavor. Inspired by their work, Mariana and Siobhan began to plan a larger initiative aimed at supporting Dublin's homeless population. They envisioned a center that offered not only shelter but also education, job training, and counseling services. This project gave Siobhan a renewed sense of purpose and allowed Mariana to atone for her past. They worked tirelessly, drawing up plans, seeking funding, and rallying support from the community. The project became a symbol of their new beginning, a way to transform their pain into something that could benefit others. The planning process brought them closer, fostering a sense of partnership and shared vision. Despite their noble intentions, not everyone supported their new initiative. Some members of the community, still skeptical of Mariana's past, voiced their opposition. The negative press and rumors threatened to derail their efforts. Siobhan, too, faced criticism from those who doubted her ability to lead such an ambitious project. Together, they faced these challenges head-on. Mariana addressed the community, openly discussing her past and her commitment to change. Siobhan stood by her side, advocating for the importance of their work and the need for second chances. Their united front began to sway public opinion, gradually garnering the support they needed. The chapter ended with Mariana and Siobhan standing before a small crowd at the groundbreaking ceremony for their new center. The sun set behind them, casting a warm glow over the site. As they turned the first shovel of dirt, they felt a sense of accomplishment and hope. Their journey was far from over, but they had taken a significant step toward redemption and healing. The challenges ahead would test their resolve and partnership, but they were determined to face them together. The foundation of trust they were building promised a future where their past mistakes could be transformed into a legacy of compassion and change. Mariana stood at the entrance of a modest shelter on the outskirts of Dublin, her heart pounding in her chest. She had spent days searching for Siobhan, desperate to make amends. As she entered, the dimly lit space was filled with the sounds of people talking softly and the rustling of papers. She spotted Siobhan in a corner, speaking with one of the volunteers. "Siobhan," Mariana called softly. Siobhan turned, her expression hardening at the sight of Mariana. The room seemed to fall silent as the tension between them became palpable. "I just want to talk," Mariana pleaded. Siobhan's eyes were cold, but she nodded, leading Mariana to a small, private room at the back of the shelter. In the small room, Mariana shared more of her story. She spoke of her childhood in a coastal village, the pressures of success, and the fateful decisions that led to the scandal. Siobhan listened, her anger still present but softened by the sincerity in Mariana's voice. "I want to show you something," Mariana said. She proposed they visit the village where she grew up. Siobhan hesitated but agreed, curious about this side of Mariana she hadn't seen before. They traveled together, the journey filled with quiet contemplation. As they walked along the rugged cliffs and sandy beaches, Mariana pointed out places from her past, sharing memories both happy and painful. The beauty and tranquility of the village provided a stark contrast to the turmoil in their hearts. Returning to Dublin, they resumed their work at the shelter with a renewed sense of purpose. Helping others became a way to rebuild their trust and mend their fractured relationship. Siobhan, though still guarded, found herself moved by Mariana's genuine efforts to make amends. One evening, as they were closing up the shelter, a homeless man approached Siobhan, thanking her for her kindness. She realized that, despite her pain, she had the power to make a positive impact. This realization was a small step toward healing her heart. Inspired by their work, Mariana and Siobhan began to plan a larger initiative to support Dublin's homeless population. They envisioned a center that offered not only shelter but also education, job training, and counseling services. This project gave Siobhan a renewed sense of purpose and allowed Mariana to atone for her past. They worked tirelessly, drawing up plans, seeking funding, and rallying support from the community. The project became a symbol of their new beginning, a way to transform their pain into something that could benefit others. The planning process brought them closer, fostering a sense of partnership and shared vision. Despite their noble intentions, not everyone supported their new initiative. Some members of the community, still skeptical of Mariana's past, voiced their opposition. The negative press and rumors threatened to derail their efforts. Siobhan, too, faced criticism from those who doubted her ability to lead such an ambitious project. Together, they faced these challenges head-on. Mariana addressed the community, openly discussing her past and her commitment to change. Siobhan stood by her side, advocating for the importance of their work and the need for second chances. Their united front began to sway public opinion, gradually garnering the support they needed. The day of the groundbreaking ceremony for their new center arrived. Mariana and Siobhan stood before a small crowd, the weight of their journey heavy in their hearts. The sun set behind them, casting a warm glow over the site. As they turned the first shovel of dirt, they felt a sense of accomplishment and hope. The ceremony was a symbolic new beginning, not just for their project, but for their relationship. They had faced their pasts, confronted their demons, and emerged stronger together. The challenges ahead would test their resolve, but they were ready to face them, united by their shared vision and determination. However, their journey was far from over. A few weeks after the groundbreaking, rumors of financial mismanagement began to surface. Documents were leaked to the press, suggesting that funds for the new center were being misappropriated. The accusations threatened to dismantle everything they had worked for. Mariana and Siobhan were devastated but not defeated. They knew that the only way to overcome this challenge was through transparency and accountability. They opened their books, invited auditors, and held a press conference to address the allegations head-on. Their honesty and openness began to restore public trust. As the investigation continued, it became clear that the sabotage was orchestrated by someone from Mariana's past. An old business rival, who had lost everything in the scandal, was seeking revenge. This revelation brought back painful memories for Mariana and reignited Siobhan's anger. Determined to protect their project and their reputations, they confronted the rival. The encounter was tense, filled with accusations and old wounds. In the end, Mariana's willingness to take responsibility for her past mistakes and Siobhan's unyielding support for her friend turned the tide. The rival, seeing their resolve, backed down, and the truth of the sabotage was revealed to the public. With the crisis behind them, Mariana and Siobhan focused on the future. The investigation and confrontation had strengthened their bond, proving that they could face any challenge together. The community's support, once hesitant, now grew stronger, inspired by their resilience and dedication. They continued to work on their project, making steady progress. The center began to take shape, becoming a beacon of hope for those in need. Mariana and Siobhan's relationship deepened, built on trust, forgiveness, and a shared commitment to making a difference. The chapter concluded with Mariana and Siobhan standing at the entrance of the nearly completed center. The sun rose, casting a golden light over the building. They looked at each other, their hearts full of hope and determination. They had come a long way, but their journey was just beginning. The challenges they had faced had only made them stronger, and together, they were ready to build a future filled with compassion and redemption. The air was crisp as Mariana and Siobhan stood in front of the nearly completed community center. The building, a symbol of their hard work and determination, gleamed under the morning sun. The center would offer not only shelter but also education, job training, and counseling services to Dublin's homeless population. Mariana felt a sense of fulfillment she hadn't experienced in years. This project was more than just a way to atone for her past. It was a tangible way to make a difference. Siobhan, standing beside her, felt a deep sense of purpose. This was her chance to help others who had faced struggles similar to hers. As they prepared for the opening ceremony, they reflected on how far they had come. Their partnership had transformed not just their lives, but also the lives of countless others who would benefit from the center. The days following the opening were filled with activity. Mariana and Siobhan worked tirelessly, facing challenges and celebrating victories together. They managed the center's operations, coordinated with volunteers, and interacted with the community members who sought help. One evening, after a particularly long day, they sat in the small office they shared at the center. Siobhan looked at Mariana, gratitude evident in her eyes. "I never thought I'd be part of something like this," she said. "Thank you for giving me this chance." Mariana smiled, her heart warming at Siobhan's words. "It's you who've given me a chance, Siobhan. I can't imagine doing this without you." Their bond grew stronger as they continued to work side by side, their mutual respect and trust deepening with each passing day. Just as things seemed to be stabilizing, a new scandal erupted. Accusations of financial mismanagement began to surface, targeting Mariana and the center. The rumors spread quickly, casting a shadow over their hard work. Negative press articles and social media posts questioned the integrity of their initiative. Mariana felt the familiar pang of fear and guilt, the shadows of her past threatening to overwhelm her once more. Siobhan, though initially shaken, quickly rallied. "We've come too far to let this bring us down," she declared. "We need to face this head-on." Together, they decided to be transparent. They invited auditors to review their finances, held press conferences, and met with community leaders to address the allegations. Their openness began to restore some of the lost trust, but the battle was far from over. As the investigation progressed, it became clear that the scandal was orchestrated by someone from Mariana's past. An old business rival, Patrick Connolly, who had lost everything in the financial scandal years ago, sought revenge. This revelation brought back painful memories and reignited old wounds. Determined to protect their project, Mariana and Siobhan confronted Connolly. The meeting was tense, filled with accusations and emotional confrontations. Connolly admitted to leaking false information to the press, hoping to ruin Mariana's reputation and destroy the center. Mariana, with Siobhan's support, stood firm. She acknowledged her past mistakes, but made it clear that she was committed to making amends and helping the community. Siobhan's unwavering support and their united front left Connolly with no choice but to back down. With the truth revealed, Mariana and Siobhan held a public event to address the community. Mariana spoke openly about her past, the mistakes she had made, and her commitment to change. Siobhan stood by her side, speaking passionately about the importance of second chances and the positive impact the center was already having. Their honesty and vulnerability moved many in the audience. The event marked a turning point as public opinion began to shift in their favor. Support for the center grew, and donations and volunteer sign-ups increased significantly. Months later, the community center was thriving. Mariana and Siobhan had built something truly remarkable, and the impact on the community was evident. They organized a celebration to mark the 6-month anniversary of the center's opening. The event was filled with music, laughter, and heartfelt speeches from those who had been helped by the center. Siobhan took the stage, her voice filled with emotion as she spoke about her journey from the streets to standing before them, a testament to resilience and redemption. Mariana watched with pride, her heart swelling with gratitude. When it was her turn to speak, she thanked everyone for their support and reaffirmed her commitment to the community. The applause was thunderous, a resounding affirmation of their success. As the center continued to flourish, Mariana and Siobhan also experienced personal growth. Siobhan enrolled in courses to further her education, aiming to develop skills that would help her contribute even more effectively to the center. Mariana, inspired by Siobhan's determination, began attending therapy to address her lingering guilt and emotional struggles. Their individual journeys of growth complemented their work at the center, allowing them to bring more empathy and understanding to their roles. They supported each other through challenges and celebrated each other's achievements, their bond growing stronger each day. With the center running smoothly, Mariana and Siobhan began to discuss long-term plans. They envisioned expanding their services, reaching more people in need, and creating a model that could be replicated in other cities. Their dreams were ambitious, but they were driven by the impact they had already seen. They worked late into the nights, drafting proposals, seeking partnerships, and brainstorming new ideas. Their excitement was palpable, fueled by their shared vision and the progress they had already made. They knew the road ahead would be challenging, but they were ready to face it together. The chapter concluded with Mariana and Siobhan standing on the roof of the community center, looking out over Dublin as the sun set. The city that had once seemed so harsh and unwelcoming now felt full of promise. They reflected on their journey, the hardships they had overcome, and the lives they had touched. "Here's to the future," Siobhan said, raising an imaginary glass. Mariana smiled, feeling a deep sense of peace. "To the future," she echoed. They stood in silence, basking in the warmth of the setting sun and the bright horizon that lay ahead. Their journey was far from over, but the foundation they had built was strong. Together, they were ready to face whatever came next, united by their shared commitment to making the world a better place, one step at a time. The air was thick with tension as Mariana and Siobhan stood outside the community center. They had received word that someone was planning to sabotage the center's operations. As they watched, a group of men approached, carrying tools and looking determined to cause trouble. Mariana and Siobhan exchanged a glance, their resolve firm. They stepped forward to confront the men, who were taken aback by their defiance. "This center is a beacon of hope," Mariana said firmly. "We won't let you destroy what we've built." The men hesitated, unsure of how to proceed. Siobhan stepped up beside Mariana, her voice strong. "We know why you're here, and we won't stand for it. Leave now, before you make things worse for yourselves." The men, seeing the determination in their eyes and realizing they were outmatched, backed down and left. Mariana and Siobhan breathed a sigh of relief, but they knew this was just the beginning. Realizing that the threats would continue unless they took a bold step, Mariana decided it was time to reveal her past publicly. She called for a press conference, inviting media and community members to the center. Standing before the gathered crowd, Mariana took a deep breath. "Many of you know me as a successful businesswoman, but few know the full story. Years ago, my ambition led me to make terrible mistakes that hurt many people, including those closest to me." She glanced at Siobhan, who nodded supportively. Mariana continued, "I have spent years trying to atone for those mistakes. This center is part of that effort. I'm not asking for forgiveness, but I hope to show that people can change and make amends for their past." The crowd murmured, but there was a sense of understanding and respect. Mariana's honesty and vulnerability had struck a chord. After Mariana's revelation, Siobhan stepped forward to speak. "I was one of the people affected by Mariana's actions. My family was destroyed, and I ended up on the streets. But I also saw the genuine remorse and effort she has put into making things right." She looked directly at the audience. "Mariana gave me a chance to rebuild my life. Together, we have built something meaningful. I stand by her, not because of her past, but because of who she has become. This center is proof that we can overcome our pasts and create a better future." The crowd erupted in applause, moved by Siobhan's powerful testimony. Their support solidified the bond between Mariana and Siobhan, strengthening their resolve to continue their work. With the public now behind them, Mariana and Siobhan refocused their efforts on the center. They held meetings with community leaders, secured additional funding, and expanded their programs. The sense of purpose and unity among the staff and volunteers grew stronger. One evening, as they were wrapping up for the day, Mariana turned to Siobhan. "I couldn't have done this without you. Your strength and courage have inspired me more than you know." Siobhan smiled, her eyes reflecting the bond they had forged. "We're in this together, Mariana, and together, we can face anything." Their renewed resilience carried them through the following months, as they continued to build on their success and support those in need. As their work at the center continued, Mariana and Siobhan also focused on their personal growth and healing. Mariana began attending therapy sessions regularly, confronting the guilt and trauma that had haunted her for years. She found solace in the support of her therapist and the progress she was making. Siobhan, meanwhile, continued her education and began taking on more leadership roles at the center. She mentored new volunteers and spearheaded several initiatives, using her experiences to guide and inspire others. Their individual journeys of healing and growth brought them closer together as they supported each other through the challenges and celebrated each other's achievements. Just as things seemed to be going smoothly, a new challenge arose. A powerful real estate developer, seeing the success of the center, began making moves to buy the property and turn it into a commercial complex. The threat was real, and the community was at risk of losing the valuable resource they had built. Mariana and Siobhan rallied their supporters, organizing protests and lobbying city officials to protect the center. The fight was intense, with the developer using every trick in the book to discredit them and push his agenda. The community, however, stood firm. Their collective voice was powerful and their determination unwavering. Mariana and Siobhan led the charge, their bond and leadership inspiring others to join the fight. The battle to save the center culminated in a city council meeting, where the fate of the property would be decided. Mariana and Siobhan, along with their supporters, packed the council chambers, ready to make their case. Mariana spoke first, her voice steady and confident. This center is more than just a building. It's a lifeline for those in need, a place of hope and healing. We cannot let greed destroy what we have built. Siobhan followed, her passion evident. I know firsthand the impact this center has. It saved my life and has done the same for countless others. We must protect it for future generations. The council members listened intently, the weight of the decision clear on their faces. After hours of deliberation, the council voted in favor of protecting the center, a victory for the community and a testament to Mariana and Siobhan's leadership. The victory was celebrated with a large community event at the center. There was music, food, and speeches from community leaders and those who had been helped by the center. The atmosphere was joyful and triumphant, a testament to what they had achieved together. Mariana and Siobhan stood on the stage, looking out at the crowd. "We did it," Mariana said, her voice filled with emotion. "We saved this center, and we proved that together we can overcome anything." Siobhan nodded, her eyes shining with pride. "This is just the beginning. We have so much more to do, and I know we can achieve even greater things." Their words were met with thunderous applause, a resounding affirmation of their success and the bright future ahead. As the event wound down, Mariana and Siobhan took a moment to reflect on their journey. They had faced incredible challenges and come out stronger on the other side. The bond they had forged was unbreakable, built on trust, respect, and a shared commitment to making a difference. "We've come a long way," Mariana said, looking at Siobhan, "and I couldn't have done it without you." Siobhan smiled, her heart full. "We've done it together, Mariana, and together, we'll continue to make a difference." They stood in silence for a moment, looking out at the center and the community they had helped to build. The future was bright, filled with possibilities. They were ready for whatever came next, united by their shared vision and determination. Their journey was far from over, but they were ready to face it together, knowing that they could overcome any obstacle and achieve great things. The community center was bustling with activity as volunteers and staff prepared for a special event. It was a day of celebration and recognition, honoring the achievements of Mariana and Siobhan's initiative. The impact of their work was evident in the transformed lives of those they had helped. As the event began, the atmosphere was filled with joy and pride. The mayor of Dublin took the stage to present an award to Mariana and Siobhan, acknowledging their outstanding contributions to the community. "Your dedication and hard work have made a profound difference," he said, handing them the plaque. Mariana's eyes glistened with tears as she accepted the award. She turned to the audience, her voice filled with emotion. "This center represents more than just a building. It's a symbol of hope and second chances. Thank you for believing in us and supporting our vision." Siobhan stepped forward, her smile radiant. "This wouldn't have been possible without the collective effort of everyone here. Together, We've created a place where people can rebuild their lives. Let's continue to support each other and make a lasting impact." The applause was thunderous, echoing the community's gratitude and admiration. The recognition solidified their success and motivated them to keep striving for more. Later that evening, after the celebrations had died down, Mariana and Siobhan sat in the quiet of the center's garden. The night was cool, and the stars shone brightly above them. They reflected on their journey and discussed their future plans. "We've come so far, but there's still so much more we can do," Siobhan said thoughtfully. "I've been thinking about expanding our services to other parts of Dublin, maybe even beyond." Mariana nodded, her mind already racing with possibilities. "We could start by partnering with other organizations, creating a network of support centers. We've proven that our model works. Now it's time to scale it." They spent hours brainstorming, their ideas flowing freely. The excitement of new possibilities invigorated them, and they felt a renewed sense of purpose. Their plans were ambitious, but they were confident in their ability to bring them to fruition. As their plans for expansion took shape, Mariana and Siobhan continued to strengthen their bond. They spent more time together, not just working but also enjoying each other's company. They took walks in St. Stephen's Green, shared meals, and had long conversations about their hopes and dreams. One afternoon, as they strolled through the park, Mariana turned to Siobhan. "I'm so grateful for everything we've built together. You've become more than just a partner. You're family to me." Siobhan smiled, her eyes misting with emotion. "I feel the same way. We've both grown so much, and I'm excited about what the future holds for us." Their bond, forged through adversity and triumph, was unbreakable. They knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together. Despite their successes, new challenges arose. As they began the process of expanding their initiative, they faced bureaucratic hurdles and financial obstacles. Securing funding for new centers was proving to be more difficult than anticipated, and they encountered resistance from some local authorities. Mariana and Siobhan met these challenges with determination. They held meetings with potential donors, crafted detailed proposals, and lobbied for support from government officials. Their perseverance paid off as they slowly began to secure the necessary resources to move forward with their plans. "We knew this wouldn't be easy," Siobhan said during one particularly challenging week. "But we've faced worse. We can do this." Mariana nodded, her resolve firm. "We've come this far by staying true to our mission. We just have to keep pushing forward." Their hard work and perseverance eventually paid off. They secured funding for new centers and gained the support of key stakeholders. The first of the new centers was set to open in a different part of Dublin, marking the beginning of their expansion. At the opening ceremony, Mariana and Siobhan were filled with pride and gratitude. The community support was overwhelming, and the new center promised to be as successful as the first. They gave speeches, thanking everyone who had contributed to their journey and reaffirming their commitment to helping those in need. "We've overcome so much to get here," Mariana said, her voice filled with emotion. "This is just the beginning. Together, we can achieve so much more." Siobhan added, "We're proof that second chances are possible. Let's continue to work together to make a difference." The applause and cheers from the crowd were a testament to the impact they had made and the bright future ahead. As the months passed, Mariana and Siobhan celebrated more milestones. The original center continued to thrive, and the new centers quickly became integral parts of their communities. They held regular events to celebrate their achievements and keep the community engaged. One such event was a fundraiser, attended by local celebrities and influential figures. The goal was to raise funds for further expansion and to highlight the success of their existing centers. The night was a resounding success, with generous donations and pledges pouring in. Mariana and Siobhan mingled with the guests, sharing stories of the people they had helped and the lives they had changed. The support they received was overwhelming, reaffirming their belief in their mission. Beyond their professional achievements, Mariana and Siobhan also experienced personal triumphs. Mariana continued her therapy, working through her past guilt and trauma. She found peace and fulfillment in her work and her relationships, feeling more balanced and content than ever before. Siobhan's personal growth was equally profound. She completed her education and took on more leadership roles within the organization. She became a mentor to others, using her experiences to guide and inspire those who were on their own journeys of recovery and redemption. Their personal triumphs enriched their professional lives, allowing them to bring more empathy, compassion, and wisdom to their work. As they looked toward the future, Mariana and Siobhan were filled with hope and determination. They had built something remarkable together, and they were committed to continuing their work for as long as it was needed. "We've created something that will last," Siobhan said one evening as they sat together in the garden. "Something that will continue to help people long after we're gone." Mariana nodded, her heart full. "And we've done it together. Whatever comes next, I know we'll face it head-on, just like we always have." They shared a quiet moment, reflecting on their journey and the incredible bond they had formed. They were ready for whatever the future held, united by their shared vision and commitment to making the world a better place. Months later, Mariana and Siobhan stood at the entrance of the newest center, surrounded by the people they had helped and the community they had built. The center was bustling with activity, a testament to their hard work and dedication. As they looked around, they saw the faces of those whose lives had been transformed by their efforts. There was a sense of fulfillment and peace that filled their hearts. "We've done something incredible here," Mariana said softly. "Something that will continue to grow and make a difference." Siobhan smiled, her eyes shining with pride. "We've created a legacy of hope and second chances. And this is just the beginning." They stood together, looking out at the bright future they had built. Their journey had been long and challenging, but it had been worth every moment. Together, they had found redemption, purpose, and a bond that would last a lifetime.